A brake fluid flush and bleed is an incredibly important routine maintenance step to do on a Toyota Tacoma. A good rule of thumb is to do it every 3 years to 30,000 miles. The trick here is that the job is actually more complicated if you have a third-gen Toyota Tacoma that is a TRD Off-Road or TRD Pro. You actually have a hydraulic brake booster that looks like this and not like this. If you have this one, you can do a traditional brake bleed. If you have this one, like me, you have a little bit of extra work to do. But lucky for us, we've got an advanced and, dare I say, pretty bougie diagnostic tool that every time I pick it up, I feel like I have the power of a dealership in my hands. Whoa! Well, it actually is pretty cool though. I'll show it to you. I'm Jason, and you're watching Jason Explains Things. I make maintenance embarrassing. On the table next to me are the tools and supplies I'm using to do the brake fluid flush and bleed on my third-gen Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. Some are required and some are optional. To see the full list, pause the video now. Doing a brake flush and bleed properly on a Tacoma TRD Off-Road or Pro is a little more complicated than most brake jobs because you need to be able to run the ABS pumps on command. And that's where this diagnostic tool comes in. This is the Autel MK808S, and it can run your ABS pumps and a bunch of other advanced features, and it even instructs the user through the process. I'm showing you the factory way how to do a brake fluid flush and bleed on the Tacoma TRD Off-Road or Pro rather than common workarounds you might see other places. Also, this device is a decent Android tablet, and I've used the micro SD card slot to load up the factory service manual PDF onto this, so we're going to be following along to the letter. Full transparency, Autel did send me the MK808S to use in this video, but they're not paying me, they didn't give me any talking points, and all of the opinions I'm gonna share in this video are my own based on real world use. One other cool tool I'm using that I wanna shout out is this brake bleeder bottle from Pacico. It has a built-in check valve that prevents air from getting back into your brake system while you bleed it as a one-man job. So not required, but highly recommended. All right, that's it for talking about tools. Let's get to work. To make checking my brake fluid level easier, I used a Sharpie to mark the front of the reservoir with the same measurement marks as you can see from the passenger side. First, use a fluid extractor to suck out as much of the old brake fluid as you can from the brake fluid reservoir. I had better success when I pushed my extractor tube through this small gap that you can see looking straight down. Brake fluid is very corrosive and will damage painted surfaces and your skin, so be careful and wear gloves. Fill the reservoir with new sealed .3 synthetic brake fluid to the full line. Never use older fluid from an unsealed container. Turn on the ignition, but don't run the engine. You need to run the ABS pump until it stops. It should run for a few seconds and then turn off. It's pretty easy to hear, and it sounds like this. Once the pump is turned off, turn the ignition off. Now press the brake pedal 20 times. Why? Because the service manual says to. This brake job is weirder than most, and I'm just doing as I'm told. Repeat this procedure 4 more times, turning the pump on, turning the ignition off when the pump stops, and pressing the pedal 20 times.
1, 2.
After the 5th time, turn the ignition on and check that the ABS pump stops after 8 to 14 seconds.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect, right in the middle of 8 to 14. We can move on. Nice.
Now it's time to flush and bleed the brakes. We'll start with the front brakes, which for the most part are bled the traditional way. I've removed the front wheels to make filming this process easier, but you can leave them on if you wish. If you want to keep your wheels on, simply turn your steering wheel all the way to the left or right to gain access. Remove the rubber cap from the brake bleed nipple on the brake caliper. Put the box end side of your 10mm wrench on the brake bleeder and then connect your bottle to the nipple.
It's a good idea to hang your bleeder bottle and route the hose like you see here. This way fluid will travel up and then down, and there's virtually no risk of the bleeder bottle becoming detached in the middle of the job. Make sure there's no up or down or side to side pressure on that bleeder bottle connection to the nipple. We're going to be pressing the brake pedal to run the brake master cylinder to flush the old fluid and any air out of the brake lines. This brake bleeding bottle with check valve, in theory, should allow you to do this without holding the brake pedal down. But I'm going to still do that to be extra safe. With the ignition still on, press the brake pedal several times and then hold the pedal down. You can do this either with an assistant, but I'm using a long pry bar to keep the pedal down.
Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Loosen the bleeder plug. Once air and fluid stops coming out, tighten the bleeder plug and release the brake pedal. Do this as many times as necessary until you see clear, clean brake fluid running through the clear hose with no bubbles or debris. That's the official procedure, but to expedite this flush, I'll be pumping the brakes with that bleeder open, holding the pedal down with a pry bar when I stop to check on the progress or to top off the brake fluid reservoir. Remember, you do not want to run the brake fluid reservoir low or dry at any point because that will get air into your master cylinder, which is quite bad. So check and top off your fluid regularly. Once your fluid is clean and bubble and debris free, close the bleeder plug, release the brake pedal, disconnect your bottle, clean up any brake fluid with brake cleaner, use a 1/4-inch torque wrench to torque the bleeder plug to 8 foot-pounds, and put the rubber cap back on. Repeat this process on the other side exactly like you did on the first.
All done with the front. We used exactly 32 ounces to do the front. Hey, and if this video is helping you out, you find it easy to follow and understand, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and subscribe because I do tons of maintenance DIY videos and adventure videos. And I want to also shout out my channel subscribers. You guys support what I do here and I can't do it without you. And if you want special perks like early access to videos and in-video shout outs, join today. All right, moving on to the rear brakes. This is where we're about to start using our Autel scanner beyond its PDF viewing abilities. So in the back though, you want to start by bleeding both sides just like you did in the front, the exact same procedure. The only difference is we obviously have rear drum brakes rather than disc brakes, so you can find the bleeder plug and nipple right here in the back. Also, if you're curious why my drum brakes look so nice, this is not how they come stock. This is actually a heavy-duty ceramic baked coating that I did. So if you want to see how to make your drum brakes not look rusty and look like this years later, watch that video. But first, let's drain this side and then the other side, and then we'll move on to running the scanner.
The rear brakes were a little different because when you hold the brake pedal down, the ABS pump will run continuously when the bleeder plug is open, and this flushes air and fluid very quickly. So I recommend holding the pedal down, then open the bleeder and let it run for 10 seconds or so, then close the bleeder and top off the fluid. Repeat if needed, but I only needed to do that once on each side.
No air, no leaks. Close this up.
Again, very important, do not run your reservoir dry. Now it's time to use the scanner to bleed any remaining air from the master cylinder solenoid. Make sure your ignition is on without the engine running. Connect the Autel MK808S or an equivalent scanner to the OBD2 port. Reconnect your bleeder bottle to the bleeder plug and loosen the bleeder plug. Remember, at this stage, don't press the brake pedal and keep your reservoir above the minimum mark at all times.
On the Autel main screen, we're going to go to Service, Brake Bleed. Now, we can manually find our vehicle or we can just read the VIN, which is pretty cool. Hit Auto Detect. Yep, that's me. All right, North America. My truck is the one with radar cruise and with a smart key. Yep, that is me. Okay, we want to go to Hot Functions. We're going to go to Air Bleeding. Use this function after replacing, okay.
This function serves to purge air from the hydraulic braking system when bleeding, ensure that the fluid level does not drop below the minimum line. Good reminder there. Now I want to bleed the right rear, so the left rear line. All right, next. Okay, the bleeding operation on the next interface will automatically stop after 4 seconds. Yep, we have opened the, yeah, it's giving us instructions, which is helpful. Open the bleeder plug, press next, wait for the timer, and do not depress the brake pedal. All right, here we go. All right, let's make sure everything looks good on the end. So it's definitely bled. We see no air in the system, and it bled a little bit more out. This looks good. We'll move the bottle over to the other side, and we'll be done. And for the last time here, I can close this bleeder and torque it with the torque wrench, and this side is complete.
Repeat that exact procedure on the other side. Torque the bleeder plugs to 8 foot-pounds, put the caps back on, and you've completed the job.
Looking on Amazon, you might be kind of overwhelmed because there are so many different OBD scanners and diagnostic tools. More expensive than this one, less expensive than this one, from Autel and a bunch of other brands. One actually that I will shout out today is the OBD Link MX Plus. This one uses your phone over Bluetooth to get basic live data, do basic functions, and reading codes and clearing codes, that sort of thing. This thing is actually great, especially for the money. So for any car, truck, SUV owner, I recommend at least get something like the OBD Link, because even if you don't do a ton of advanced maintenance, you can at least read check engine light codes, you can clear codes, and you can be informed when you go to a mechanic. I would recommend the Autel MK808S or an equivalent high-end scanner for anyone kind of like me who does like 95% of their own vehicle maintenance. Not all are like this, but the Toyota service department in my town has a region-wide reputation for being sketchy, and that's why I invest in tools like this. This is the Autel TPMS tool that I've had for many, many years. With this guy, I can do my own 5-wheel tire rotations and reset the system. I can program my own TPMS sensors. With this guy, I can service my transmission, or we can bleed the brakes like we did today, and a ton of other stuff. You can even add this $45 inspection camera and use the Autel to do engine inspections, or just be a dork. And like I showed earlier, this is actually an Android tablet. Not a very good one, but hey, it's a tablet. You can visit websites. You can look at PDFs like we were talking about. But there are no built-in speakers or ability to plug in headphones. So if you want to watch like how to DIY videos on YouTube on this, you're not going to be hearing anything. What separates this scanner from others I've used in the past for me are the 28 hot functions that this one can do. ABS, pump, bleeding, running being one of them. But there are many others, and not every single one of them works on every make and model, but they are mostly available. One that I really wish that worked on Toyotas but doesn't is for modern Jeep and Ram owners. You guys can actually use this to pre-program your tire size. So if you go for larger tires, you can program that in with this device, and then your transmission shift points and your speedometer will be calibrated correctly. One big caveat for the Autel that I want you guys to know about that they don't talk about a ton and that other people on YouTube don't talk about is the fact that all of these cool software updates that you can do, where over Wi-Fi you can update, so that as new generations of cars and trucks come out, you can update the software and service them and run all the codes, all that kind of thing, is part of their VIP service, and that is $125 a year. You get it right out of the box for 1 year. But after that, it expires and you can still use this device, all of the different features, but you can't update the software for new vehicle makes and models. Now that can be a bummer, but I don't think it's as bad as it sounds because you don't need to renew that every year for this thing to function. What I'd recommend you do, update it right when you get it out of the box. 1 year from now, I'm gonna update it again, and then many years from now, if I get a new vehicle, I might update it again at that point so that I can service this. But frankly, this has all the stuff for a
4th Gen Tacoma or a new 4Runner or a new Tundra or whatever. So even if I don't get a new car for like 5 years, this thing actually still might work, but I'll probably update it one more time if that does happen. Brace yourself for a speech. High quality and sometimes expensive tools like this scanner and others, like floor jacks, jack stands, torque wrenches, impact guns, and hundreds, if not thousands, of different size sockets and extensions. All of those tools allow you to be able to be self-reliant, to save yourself money, but also to be able to help out your friends and family and save them money too. Having tools and creating informative documentation like this video is something I truly love because it makes me feel like I'm helpful. That and sharing adventures and experiences is what this channel is all about. But I want to hear from you. Do you think this scanner is something you might get, or do you think it's overkill? Please hit the subscribe and like button if this video helped you out. And until next time, God bless all of you. Don't forget to do it yourself.